I thought this would be a little bit more of an interesting start to most of my videos. I don't know why. My bed was what I decided to do. But hello everybody, my name is John, and I spent the first 18 hours, I almost was going to do 24 hours, but I literally had to sleep. I spent the first 18 hours of Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, playing it, grinding it, beating the story, doing as much side stuff as I possibly could do, not including the Riddler quests and everything like that. And I wanted to talk about it in I'm not like an opinionated way, but kind of talk about my personal perspective on the game, pros, cons, and things like that. If you haven't touched it, kind of talking about how I feel about it and how I don't. So sit back, strap in, and take everything I say with a grain of salt and kind of step away from your prejudice about the game, so we can just talk about the game itself. Pros are the gameplay is very nice. It moves and operates very well. It felt like Spider-Man 2 walked so Harley Quinn could run. Her movement is amazing. It is so cool, and all of them have their own unique sets of movement, and they all feel completely different from one another. All of their gameplay, their quips, their story, even sometimes when you play a specific character in a story mission, it changes some of the dialogue, and I think, or the interactions, and I think that's just a very nice touch. I want to say real quick, I went into Suicide Squad not necessarily wanting to play it. I actually saw a trailer of it. Actually, I hopped on the Suicide Squad Sucks bandwagon for a minute, then I saw some gameplay, and I kind of liked it. I'm not gonna lie. I do like Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. I think it's a really good game. But from the story, and before I say my opinion on this, Stan Lee has always said, as a comic book writer and story creator, that he always heard who would win, Hulk versus the Thing, or, Doctor Doom versus the Fantastic Four, no holds barred. And he's always said that it's up to the writer, it is up to the artist, it's up to the creator to decide who wins that. So in my opinion, from this entire game, I really do like how they set up the lore. They did a very nice job encapsulating a lot of the different details, and there wasn't really any plot points, and I was looking for plot points. Don't think that I was sitting there being naive to anything, and don't think that there aren't any cons in here, but I was looking for everything, and I just couldn't really find any. It all kind of linked together, and the comedy was not really distasteful, besides a couple fights, but nothing that's really worth hella prying on. It was just kind of Suicide Squad comedy, you know what I mean? If you've watched the first Suicide Squad, that comedy is on par with that to a degree. Will Smith comedy, yeah, or something, or just old-fashioned Marvel movies, stuff like that. If you like a game with a lot of replayability, this game has 2 different skill trees, one skill tree for every single member of your team, and then they also have another skill tree for prestiging your characters, and there is prestiging in this game, and there's also a difficulty increase. A big thing I really liked about this game as well, if you saw something in the game, it popped up on the map, not including characters. So Brainiac's big Motherlode ship or Motherhorde ship or whatever, if a tentacle was on the map itself, that tentacle would pop up, or in the game itself, it would pop up on the map, which I think is a great, again, to the attention to detail that they put into this game. It really does feel like a $70 game. If this was anything less than $70, I'd be like, how is this not, $70 is a lot. It's not a short amount of money to spend on a game, but it definitely feels like they do a very good job making it worth your money, you know what I mean? And I think that's definitely worth mentioning as well. For the most part, when it comes to actually fighting the Justice League, the boss fights themselves were really fun. Not including one, and I don't want to put any spoilers in here until I kind of get into the cons and other things, but not including one boss fight, all the boss fights were really fun. They seemed really interesting, and they did a really good job making the Suicide Squad understand how unbeatable their odds are. You are never not reminded about how this is probably never ever gonna happen ever, but they make it happen with the help of a few characters. Now I want to kind of move over to the cons. I'm probably going to be switching a little bit back and forth between myself and the gameplay. It'll be my gameplay that I show. I know, I'm a legend. But I want to talk about some of the cons, because there are cons, and one of them is massive to me. It's so bad that it was worth mentioning, and this is a spoiler, so if you don't like spoilers, I'm going to remind you right now that this is a spoiler. I want to click away. Okay, you ready? Okay, the biggest con I have in this game is the Batman boss fight, not Batman in general. And it goes back to what I said about Stan Lee. Stan Lee is the creator of Marvel. He's not the creator of DC. I thought I would say that. He's not James Gunn. Come on, guys. But with the Batman boss fight, it was very, very bad. It was very bad. There's no other way to describe it. It was just so bad. The entire game, Batman is kind of like the general, but every time you fight him, they do a really good job, in my opinion, of encapsulating that fear. Like, you feel like a goon fighting the Batman, because every time it happens, it's pitch dark, your gadgets are disabled, and you're walking with just your gun and a flashlight, and you're not going to do anything because it's Batman. What are you going to do against Batman? He's going to stomp you. Plus, people dick ride Batman so much that IGN made a shitty review on it, all because of Batman. I don't know. It's just what happens. What are you going to do? Jump scares. He put horror into the game, really. When you deal with someone like that the entire time, then you go into the boss fight that is literally just a giant Destiny 2 boss. It just feels so distasteful, and it feels like it left a sour taste in my mouth. The boss should have had a second phase, and it should have been you actually fighting Batman. And it did feel like Brainiac didn't use Batman to the best of his capabilities, because that's how they portrayed it. It wasn't the writers, it was Brainiac making some mistakes. Of course, that would mean that Brainiac isn't as smart as he could be, but also it felt like Brainiac was more of a super villain. Like, who's petting his cat. Every time he talks to you, he's degrading you. Every time any of the Justice League talks to you, they're like, you already lost. You suck, okay? That can get kind of annoying, but at the same time, it just makes it that much better when you pee on him. It's a flashback to Boomerang. That's my boy. I only had one bug the entire time. I played on PC. I only had one bug the entire time I played the game, and that was in one mission, and I just had to restart my game. And changing the settings a lot. I also had to restart my game, but those are both one of them was the me thing, the settings thing, but I only had to restart my game once, and it wasn't really too bad having to restart it, but it was just kind of like, I thought I'd mention it. It is a con. Now, a huge con. This is a big one. This is the biggie wiggy finiggy. You know what I'm saying? Every time I talk to people about this, everyone talks about this, and they don't like how it's a live service and the game has to be online. And I have to agree. It is kind of annoying that this game can only be played online. I always make the argument, we live in a society where every single day we always use the internet. So the only way you wouldn't be able to play this is if your internet goes down or the servers go down. But if the servers go down, you weren't going to be able to play it in the first place. So it only goes if your internet goes down. Which then I said, just take your laptop to a coffee shop in your state of living and just play it in the coffee shop if it's that bad. But everyone kind of laughed at me, and I kind of get that. That is kind of ridiculous. And I'm trying to do my best to put humor in here, and I don't want anyone to take this review seriously. Like, I want you to take it seriously, but I don't want you to take this as in like, oh my god, he's just making fun of this game. I really do like this game. It's a good game, and I think I went in with a lot of people being like, oh, it sucks, and me having my own opinion. I think that this game shouldn't be taken off your radar. I think if you haven't played it yet, you should definitely give it a little bit of time. Kind of keep your eyes on it, because it's not bad at all. And I think you should just wait until see what the seasonal content does, and, kind of enjoy it whenever you feel like it goes on sale or something. That's kind of with the pros and cons, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about the details of the game real quick while I have your attention. If you're still in here, you probably are like, this guy, he's got some hot takes, but I'll keep listening to him, and I appreciate you for doing that. Listen, I'm telling you right now that the in-game content caught me off guard, okay? It really did, because it's actually really, really cool. I love how they do it. It doesn't seem like it's too easy, it doesn't seem like it's too hard, and it doesn't seem out of pocket. It kind of segues into more content as the game goes on. And everyone always talked about how the ending didn't make any sense, but the ending made perfect sense. The whole game made perfect sense. It didn't sound confusing. They did a couple retcons, but you have to understand that's what they wanted to do. They want to make something creative. I feel like they should be praised for it because they did something very unique. It's just like opening up a new comic book. That's what you should just view this as. And nowadays, when someone does something that isn't exactly like how it was in this specific thing, like in the Arkham games and things like that, everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is preposterous. This is ridiculous. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. How could this... Guys, think of this game as like a comic book. And I think it is, because it feels like I'm watching it. It's very cinematic. The gameplay's very nice. And it just feels really cool. The quips are great. And like the comedy itself is very fluid. Like I said, I really like it. I really like this game. It's a very good game. I think it's a very good game. And it does a lot of things very well. And I hope that it gets a lot more love in the future. Anyway, guys, I didn't want to ramble in that, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Moral of the story is, in my personal review, if I were to give this game a review, including the Batman boss fight, which did remove a point for me, I would give this game probably a solid 7.5 out of 8 and out of 10. 7.5 or 8 out of 10, sorry. And I kind of can't wait to see where it goes in the seasonal content in the future. If I missed a few points, I really am sorry. If I missed a few pros, if missed a few cons, I really am sorry, guys. I'm kind of running off of 5 hours of sleep. No excuse, but I'm trying to do my best to kind of portray my personal opinion and just kind of give a different opinion on the game. And I'm not saying that it's a God tier game. I'm saying that I like it. And I think that if you just kind of give it a second, kind of let it do its own thing, if you aren't interested in it now, just give it a little bit, and maybe you'll be interested in it later. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you guys have some real fun grinding in your future couple games. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.